Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews, in which we are going to be discussing David Bowie's last album released prior to his passing, just barely. Blackstar. I've already covered the album before this. Next Day. It was actually one of my earlier reviews. And I think Next Day was the album, me personally, with the style and type of music I enjoy from Bowie and whatnot. I think that was the album I would have rather Bowie had gone out on, and almost kind of wish that this one was released after his passing to give a little leeway on certain issues I have with this album. All right, so is this a bad album? No. Is this a good album? Might really depend on your perspective. This is very much an artistic Bowie album. I think one of my okay, I'm gonna one of the biggest complaints, and I know I don't usually talk about the inner sleeves of books or whatnot. I do like a lot of what they did with the inner sleeves. The problem is you have to turn it all in just the right light because they did a black on black kind of thing, which is kind of cool and stylistic in its own little way. But I find it so annoying that I can't be bothered to read any of the band info at all. Any of the who wrote what info. And I didn't look online. I probably should have. I didn't. But my biggest complaint about this album is the damn drums. They all sound digital. They all sound like they're machined, which a lot of time really will put me off. I know Marilyn Manson will use a drum machine for a lot of stuff. I've heard that Typo Negative usually tended to use drum machines for their recordings. So sometimes it can be worked out and it can be done well and cool. There are other times where I really don't like it. Now, Bowie's always been one to use drumming that is out of the standard rock pop 4/4 kind of styling. Gets into a lot of polyphonic percussion styles and that applied to jazz stuff like that. That's all throughout here. So even if it is all digital, which it sounds like to me, it could just be the production, but even if it is all digital drumming or predominantly digital drumming or whatnot, it's been done up in a way where it's a lot of polyphonic, jazzy, almost kind of drumming, and not the stuff that I enjoy with that. It sounds a lot more like I almost want to say kind of overly complicated to the point of being boring. Overly done to the point where I'm just kind of like, eh. There is two songs on this album that I actually fully enjoy. 7 songs on this album in total. The album opens up with the title track, Blackstar. Now, I don't know if I get the lighting right. Here it is literally a black star. I know I had a flash of it there for a moment. All right. Like I said, I really don't like that black on black. It's kind of annoying. The song Black Star clocks in 9 minutes 57 seconds. Multiple arrangement, big proggy kind of movement throughout the thing. Time changes, key changes, you get the whole thing going on in there. The last time I listened to this album actually was this morning while I was working on my garden just before I came up here to uh, do this. And Blackstar is one of those songs where you listen to it enough times, it will grow on you. But on initial listening, unless you're really, hoity-toity, artsy, musicy, a lot of people are not going to be a fan of it at first. Uh, you know, um, and then it goes on even into the next song, which is "'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore." Both songs, one flows into the other one really nicely, and they're not bad songs. Definitely not me. Definitely not for me at all. This is Bowie has his various different periods. You never can base one album off the previous. And this is the kind of Bowie stuff that I'm not huge on. But there are some people that really dig this stuff. So, I can't say with that, I'm not going to say that nobody wants to hear it, but it's definitely not for your casual Bowie listener. Then we get into the most heartbreaking song on this album. And that's Lazarus. And it's so heartbreaking because Bowie got the video recorded for this. He got it done. The album got done, everything like that. Bowie got to hear the album fully completed. Got to see the video for this song. Bowie died the day the song was released. If I remember correctly, it was either the day the album was released or it was the day the video was released. I'll pop it up here. And it's hard for me to talk about this because, Bowie has a major place in my heart with my family, stuff like that. So when the first lines are, "Look at me here in heaven," or "I'm in heaven." I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact line. And that's the first line coming out of this. And you watch the video and he knew. He knew. And this is the great swan song. If you're going to have a swan song, that one, that's going to pull at every heartstring. This is it. And he did it. He did it. All right. After a big emotional Lazarus, which is the first song on the album that I really, truly love. Good song. Like, Lazarus is really one of those songs that, not just because of the emotional connection, but Lazarus is definitely one of those songs that does deserve to be held up in the same regard as Ziggy Stardust or Space Oddity or Let's Dance, previous review. Lazarus is definitely one of those great timeless Bowie songs, without a doubt. And that's the only song on this entire album I can say anything close to that about. Now, there is one other song on this album I do enjoy, and I will get to it, but next track up is Sue, or A Season of Crime. I'm just not a fan of this one. It's not bad. Yeah. Girl Loves Me, same thing. It's not bad, but, whatever. Dollar Days, I feel the same way about that as well. And then the album finishes with I Can't Give Everything Away. And this is the other song on this album I oddly enjoy because it's a lot of what I don't like about this album. But there's just something in the way that Bowie's voice sounds on it. And A lot of artists, when they get older, their voices, when they do certain things, you can hear the age in their voice. And this is one of those ones where you can hear the age in Bowie's voice. And to a degree where it almost sounds like an old man pleading, I can't give everything away. You know, and that's how it kind of feels to me. And I really enjoy it for that reason. But overall, this entire album, if you were a Bowie completionist, yeah, you should definitely have this album as a Bowie completionist. If you're just a casual Bowie listener, you know, especially a 70s Bowie, if you're a 70s Bowie's fan, you're not going to like this album. Lazarus, really, I'm telling you right now, Lazarus is maybe the only song on this album you might like as a 70s Bowie fan. If you like 80s pop Bowie, you're still really not gonna dig this album. You know, like this album has nothing that's comparable to something like, say, Let's Dance or China Girl. I want to say Tin Machine, maybe. Even that doesn't feel right. Bowie released a few albums in the 90s, and I haven't picked them up yet. One or two of them, I remember having a couple singles that were decent, and then one or two of them not so cool. Really kind of like artistic digital. It's kind of like when he was working with Trent Reznor, stuff like that. And this would maybe appeal to those people. Or the pretentiously artsy music types, you know. But this is definitely not for everybody. And as such, that's why I say I kind of wish it was an album that had been released after Bowie's passing instead. Kind of one of those lost albums kind of deals instead of being one of those, you know, the last album that he released. Next Day, I think, would have been a better choice for that myself. But, you know, we don't get to say over those things, right? You know, I do believe that Bowie honestly didn't think he was going to see the end of this sometimes. When I listen to it, that's what I get from it. Anyways, folks, let me know what you think. Drop a line in the comments. If you do like this album and, you know, there's parts of it you like, let me know what you liked about it. Outside of, you know, Lazarus being this beautiful song that it is. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. There's a little bell for the notifications, link for Patreon. Peace, love, take care.